You're rocking with the best. Thoughts of the week. Let's go.
I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time. I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time. I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time. I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time. I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time. I'm on a journey, steady focus, cause it's my time.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? How's everybody doing? You might be listening to my voice. It might sound like a cold. I won't say I'm not claiming that I have a cold. I would say that a cold is trying to catch me out there, but we ain't gonna let it happen that way. So if I sound a little bit funny, y'all know what's going on. But besides that, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope life is treating you good. And today, we got another Q&A, self-defense Q&A series. I think this is number 3. And I believe we're in episode 39 of the podcast. All right. So speaking of podcasts, man, what's so cool about being able to do a podcast is right now I'm actually walking my dog, right, while I'm talking on my this little digital recorder. And speaking of that, I wanted to let you guys know that you guys can purchase my book, How to Start a Podcast Real Easy, and the steps and the things I talk about in the book, or at least some of the things I'm actually doing, like right now with this digital recorder. I'm recording the show, so you'll hear a car pass me by, like just right now, or you might hear other type of noises, which is cool. We're gonna keep it realistic. That's how we do on the show. Keep it authentic over here. And yeah, so you guys want to get the book, be sure to purchase that on Amazon. It's called How to Start a Podcast Real Easy. All right, How to Start a Podcast Real Easy by me. So you go check out the book, and it'll get you started, man. You can be doing just like I'm doing right now. You could be recording all type of shows, different times of the day and night. And I show you everything from A to Z, man. How to get started, how to get your shows out there, topics to talk about, the formats. I break it down. And incidentally, you guys go to, if you don't want to get the book, you can actually take a live class. All right. So you guys go to bit.ly/HowToUniversityOnline. All right. That's bit.ly/HowToUniversityOnline. All right. So when you spell the How to University Online, the first letter of each word needs to be capitalized. Otherwise, you get sent to a different website. All right. And then on that site, you can take a live class on how to podcast. All right. You take an actual live class. And it's just a few more dollars from the actual book. But either way, you'll get valuable information nonetheless. All right. So check it out. Check out the book, or come to the site and take the online class, live online class. I'm actually teaching the class, and the classes are taught on Zoom. So, and I might be changing that format up. I might put the class on the website. I've been trying to mess around a little bit, figuring out how I'm going to do it. And so far, I like the Zoom format because the video quality is really clear. and you can get so many people on the site to take the class. So you guys check that out if you're interested. The book is $7.99, and the class is just $10. So you take your pick if you want to just read the book and get the info, or if you want to take the class. Now, when you go to the site, of course, you have to book the class because there's 20 seats to every class. I could make it more. I could make it 50, but I decided I just want to make it 20. And so you got to make sure you book a seat for the class, and then we'll send you the payment link. That way you can go on and pay for the class, and then we'll get you set up and situated to go. All right, because the classes are on specific days and times, so you got to hit that book button and book the class and pick the date and time that you would like to take the class. All right. So be sure to do that if you're interested in learning how to get started with a podcast. It doesn't require all the expensive equipment that you guys might be watching people on YouTube or Facebook doing their podcasts. And you might be seeing the little extension arms to hold the mics, and you see a bunch of laptops sitting out there. You don't have to do all that, all right? It doesn't require you to do all that. You can get started real simply. And I'm living proof of that, because like I said, I'm doing the actual things that I put in the book. Now, I got other ways I can do it. I can get a little bit fancier with it. But every now and then, I just want to get real practical and simple sometimes, and just put out the podcast show. And also, for those who don't like to be on camera, see me, it doesn't matter one way or the other. I can be on camera or not, but you still can put your podcast show out without having to be on camera. All right. So for those who maybe have that concern, I need to make y'all guys aware of that as well. Podcasting is pretty much for anyone. For those who want to be on camera, for those who don't want to be on camera, because you also got to hear the audio part of that. So that's just a whole another aspect of it. All right, because you got to get it on podcast platforms where it's just a listen only. And podcasting is getting a lot more popular. So why not, man? Get in the game. So get the book, or you can go to bit.ly/how, that's capital HOW, to capital T, small o, university, capital U, and of course the rest of the letters are small, and then online, capital O, and the rest of those letters are small, all one word, all right? So you can take the class, or you can purchase the book, however you want to do it. Okay? So, like I said, we're going to continue the self-defense Q&A series. I wanted to bring you guys some information because one of the things I'm into is personal security, self-defense, things of that sort. I'm real heavy into that, whether it's armed or unarmed security, hand-to-hand combat, third-party protection. I'm pretty much into all that security. And so, it's getting hotter and hotter out here, and the crime is not slowing down, man. People are getting robbed and hurt and all that stuff. And so I think it's important to at least give you guys some information for some who may not want to take a class or anything. Hopefully these podcasts will help out when I answer some questions. And of course, there's going to be other questions in the future. So you guys keep listening for that. But right now, we're going to continue with the series where I answer the question about how to punch harder, or whether or not punching hard is important at all. All right. So sit back and relax and check out my previously recorded show where I answered the question about punching hard or hard punches. All right. Y'all enjoy the show. Peace.
Today, I'm going to answer a self-defense question. And let me just take a look here and pick out a question to answer here in relation to self-defense, martial arts, combat, things of that sort. All right. And I'm going to answer this one here on top here. You guys can see that. Let me see if I can highlight it real quick. No, it won't let me highlight. Okay. It's in blue. The first question here, I'll read it out. And this question, let me click on it. Or can I click on it? It doesn't say who it's from. The question is, how do I punch harder? All right. All right. So how do I punch harder? Well, my answer would be is to put more of your body weight into your punches. And so what do I mean by that? Some people naturally, whether big or small, have natural heavy, what some people call heavy-handedness. So even if they just kind of say, hey, what's going on? You really feel that weight of their hand. They didn't have to put too much of anything and umph in it. So you have some people who have some natural heaviness in their hands. And so if they go on to strike somebody, they're going to have some, just by their natural movements. They don't have to, they can just do the regular turning or however they have to do to hit a person. They're going to have some weight to their punch. All right. But a way to make your punches even harder, and I don't know what you mean by hard because you're not being specific. So I'm going to kind of look at it in two ways. Hard in the sense of you want your body, the body part, like your punch, your fist to be hard and strong when it hits a person, how to toughen your hands. That's one way of looking at it. Or when you want to hit somebody as hard as you can, that's the other way of looking at it. So one way, if you want to toughen up your hands, one thing I used to do, and I don't know if there are some negative effects down the line as you get older, if you end up with bad arthritis or anything like that. But what I used to do, and I do once in a while, is I'll find a brick wall or something concrete, a concrete curb, or a lot of those lights and lampposts have the steel or metal is part of the light, but then on the base of it has concrete surrounding it. Either that or a brick wall, and I just start with an open hand. I'll just kind of start striking it with a little pressure, a little force. Then I'll take like a hammer fist and I'll start hammer fisting the concrete or the brick wall. And then I will also punch it, but I won't punch it super, super hard. I just punch it enough to feel some pressure when you hit it, where you can obviously tell, like, yeah, I can feel it a little bit, but not to the point where you want to break your hands. All right, not to that point. And I would just do that real mildly. I would do the hammer fist harder because you can hit much harder with your hammer fist strike, and you can hit harder with your palm. So I wouldn't even, which is probably another question and the answers altogether, but I wouldn't even throw punches, to be honest with you. I would use open hands unless you know what you're really doing. I would use more or less open-handed strikes, palms. You can hit brick walls as hard as you can, just about, with palm strikes, as well as your hammer fist. All right. And elbows strikes are hard too. I'm getting off a little bit from your question, but I'll focus back in on it. But elbow strikes, you can hit a brick wall to a certain degree, but I wouldn't do it with this because that's more or less bone. And yeah, like I said, your hammer fist has some meat here, and same thing with your palm strikes, has certain surfaces where you can really strike a person hard, a brick wall hard. And so that's my basic answer to that, as far as toughening up the fist to punch. Now the other part of that question, like I said, because I don't know how you're asking it or what do you mean in what way. Now if you just want to hit a person as hard as you can, the best way to do that is to learn how to throw your weight into the punch. All right. You want to learn how to throw your weight into the punch. And basically, is going to require you to do some forward moving. So, for example, if I stand in place, and of course you can generate power from your hips, legs, and shoulders. All right. When you see boxers punch, they're turning most of the time. If they're going to throw a right hook, you're going to see, when you see me throw a right hook, you're going to most likely see my shoulders turn towards my left, my right side. Everything on my right side is going to go to the left. All right. Because I'm torquing my body. So you can generate a lot of power and punch hard that way. Now, to add some extra to that, to make it even harder, you would do the same motions of torquing your body, but then you want to move forward at the same time. So for now, I'm just sitting in the chair. Maybe next time, if I do some other future videos, I'll be able to show standing up. But just sitting in the chair talking to you, hopefully you'll be able to get the gist of what I'm saying. So I'm going to demonstrate it and try to make it as animated for you guys to see as possible. So for instance, if I'm just going to punch, just torquing my body, which just means just turning my body like this, punching, you can generate a lot of power doing that. All right, torquing it, boom. Now I'm going to torque and move at the same time. So I'm going to move into the punch, okay? So I'm also taking a step in, and from the step, me taking the step, because that's I'm using my whole body weight to move into the person, and then at the same time torquing my body, you're going to generate even more power from that, and a more powerful punch. All right. Also, I would say, lastly, is that, which I would have to do a demonstration, but the best way I can explain it is every time you strike a person, and I'll probably show it with my hands, make sure that you always aim for the center. All right. Now, what I mean by that, for instance, I'll give you two examples. One, I'll verbally give you a visual, and then I'll try to use my hand and show you. So, if you punch a punching bag, sometimes when people punch, including myself, sometimes you punch a punching bag, you're grazing the bag, and all the bag does is start spinning real fast. Well, that's because you're not really centering your strike into the bag, to where when you punch the bag, it kind of bends in a little bit, curves in. Because instead of doing that, you're punching it, and whatever strike you're using, elbows or whatever, you're hitting it, and the bag just starts spinning. That means you didn't get a direct contact with it. You contacted it to the point where you made it spin, but you didn't use all your power, or you used a lot of power as well, but your power just grazed it and made the punching bag just spin, as opposed to when you hit it, it's that part of where you struck at will cave in, right? And you can move, and you'll actually move the bag too. At the same time, you can see the little dent that you made into the bag. That's what I mean by always trying to strike. It doesn't matter what part of the body you hit. It could be the smallest part on a person's body. You always want to aim, like center your punches on whatever part of that body. So now, using my hand, again, like I said, just using my fingers, I can strike it like this, but then it grazes, right? But at the same time, I could strike and always hit center. No matter where a person is turning or bent, you always strike to hit the center of it. All right, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let me see. I'm using let's say, the side of my head, right? Now, a person can punch, right? But then it ends up grazing, right? See that? It ends up grazing off. But instead of punching, and then you're punching, and you punch into the in a way that makes you graze the person, as opposed to hitting dead center. All right. If you use an open hand, you're hitting dead center, as opposed to just grazing off my head, or grazing off this way, hitting the person in the chin, but you just grazing it. So it doesn't make the person's head snap back as much, because you're grazing it. So you always gotta aim for the center. Center your strikes might be a better way of saying it. So I'm gonna use my hand towards the camera if I'm gonna start striking, but then I end up grazing off you, as opposed to striking center. All right. So that's my response to how to punch harder. All right.
All right, everybody. Hope you gained some value and some valuable information, I should say, in this episode. I hope it's helped you out. And of course, we will be coming back with another episode. And so you guys continue to stay tuned and listen to the series. And like I always said in this show, you never know what will happen. I might come in between the series and talk about another topic, and then, it'll resume back to the self-defense Q&A series again. So you just never know. But I hope, again, like I said, I hope it's bringing you guys some valuable information, and it's open your eyes about some things. And so, with that being said, this is Thoughts of the Week. Once again, thank you guys for listening in. What's up, France? What's up, Germany? Spotify, what's good? Anchor, my Anchor listeners, what's good? What's good? Anyway, man, I appreciate y'all listening. It's all love. And I'm out of here. Peace.